So I wanted to ask you one more quick thing. I know you got a skedaddle here, but I actually the first time I ever had a talk show was actually at on Radio Free Nashville in Nashville, Tennessee, which I believe you were among the people who raised that antenna,
Oh,
correct? And
yep.
it's referred to as a barn raising, right? Because typically it's like so. I was going to ask about Prometheus briefly. Like what do you think kind of the current state of community radio, which is commonly referred to as the word for it is low power FM, because these are low powered signals that communities are able to grab hold of. And I mean, obviously, radio is not quite the dominating part of our landscape as it once was due to technology and other things. But community radio stations, I've always seen those more as kind of like you said, 10% radio, 90% community. So is that something that is still spreading? Is Prometheus still very active in all that in different communities around the country? Or
Prometheus is 100% still around, and it's extremely wonderful. Like the world of community radio stations, and one of the first campaigns I ever got to work on was helping to pass legislation expanding access to community radio to thousands more communities. The big broadcasters had kept it primarily to very rural areas, and we changed the law to make it available in cities like Nashville, because the station originally was out in Pasquo, which was 30 minutes outside of Nashville, and the frequency didn't even reach into the city. So now, since that has happened, they've been able to move the tower and actually cover the city, which has been fantastic. And so the movement is still extremely vibrant. Like it's something called appropriate technology. Like if you're a farm worker in the field in rural Florida, or picking, doing tree work in rural Oregon, or if you are living in a small town where the way that the mountains work, it's really hard to get internet, right? And it's really hard to get that kind of connectivity. Radio is an extraordinarily vital and cohering thing. 90% of Americans still listen to radio at least once a week. Like it's either in your car. Like I know for me, I have this 20 minutes in the morning after I've gotten both of my kids rolling, my husband's making breakfast, I'm making my bed and getting dressed, and then I'm turning on the radio and listening. And that's how I get my news. Like I'm not someone who's like Googling it all day. And so I find that when people say, oh, people have been predicting the death of radio for a long time now. What's great about the technology is it uses the public airwaves. It uses a piece of infrastructure that is truly part of the public trust, that we do truly own. And it communicates in a way that doesn't require like a broadband internet connection or like a high level of technology. It's something that is, if there's an emergency and your power's out, looking for an emergency radio is one of the first things that you do that isn't actually powered, that's a battery powered device. It's a necessary thing. In the times that we're in, like whether it's a wildfire or an uprising or all of these uncertain questions, like I'm pretty grateful that we have a robust radio system and great stations like WRFN all over the country that are going to help us stay connected in times of crisis and in times where we need to focus on community as a major institution to help us thrive.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it